Florida State travels to Clemson this coming Saturday to play at 12 o'clock on ABC. When the line opened up a little earlier this week, Clemson was a 1.5 point underdog, which is basically a toss up. As of today, Wednesday, September the 20th, not 22nd, the 20th, Clemson is a 2.5 point underdog, which in betting terms basically means it's still a toss up. Now, for the Tigers, it's very difficult to beat them at home. The Tigers have a lot of talent. A lot of people has a misconstrued idea that the cupboard is empty for the Tigers, that the talent is no longer there. But actually, the truth is much different than what you think. They have over 54 or 5-star players on the team. They did hire Garrett Riley, which is a great move. Unfortunately, a lot of the same coaches that's been part of this pedestrian offense is still running things. And there's a question about player development. Clemson has been on top of the mountain for a very long time. They haven't lost to Florida State in the last, I believe, 7 tries. Florida State, on the other hand, other than possibly Colorado, is one of the leading teams of raiding the transfer portal to potentially become a contender. They come into this game with great desire, great want to take the mantle from Clemson. Now, between you and I believe Florida State is a really talented team. I also believe that Florida State is still a bit overrated. You say, why? They went in, they played LSU, they did what they did to LSU. LSU played for the SEC championship last year. But the truth is, Florida State still has a lot to prove. They come into an environment where the Clemson fans are going to be fired up for finally a game that seems worthwhile. On the other hand, for Clemson, the last 3 out of 4 times that they played good talent, remember I said that, last 3 out of 4 times they played good talent, they lost. Charleston Southern's not good talent. FAU is not good talent. But when they played Duke, they lost. They lost to Tennessee. They beat UNC. And then the game before that, they lost to South Carolina. I had to spell that out. Trust me. There's people who would question it. Clemson, with all of their talent, has a player development problem. There seems to be more emphasis on taking up for culture than there is for fighting to win games and to not only make it to the ACC championship, which the divisions are gone now. The 2 top teams take the championship game, duke it out there. But they're more focused on taking up for themselves, taking up for what the team has done. Now, I want to be very clear in telling you this. I don't put this on the players. I put this especially on the offensive coaches. I don't put it on Garrett Riley. He's been at Clemson, 8 months, if that? Florida State has desire. They have want. They are willing to go and get the talent they need. They also seem to have a pretty solid coaching staff. Did I say the world's best coaching staff? No. I believe what Florida State is going to do, this coming Saturday, is they are going to come after Clemson and that questionable offensive line. They are going to try to confuse Cade. Cade is the most ill-prepared quarterback by the coaching staff. Not Cade's fault. I'm taking up for Cade. It's not Cade's fault. He's the most ill-prepared quarterback in the Dabo Swinney era since Taj Boyd. I've laid this out several times. I won't do it again. I feel bad for him. He's been thrown in the fire without being prepared versus all those other quarterbacks. He's going to make these mistakes, and I think they're going to make him make these mistakes. It's not going to be pretty, especially if he does make these mistakes. If Clemson gets fumbleitis like they did in Durham, this is not going to be pretty. Florida State is going to try to keep Clemson's talented defense off balance. They have really tall wide receivers. Jaheim Bell, that transferred from South Carolina to Florida State, is an absolute brute. This guy loves to play gritty football. As an offensive player, he loves to catch the ball and throw a hit. He reminds me somewhat in the same mentality of a Marshawn Lynch. Keon Coleman has received a lot of attention because of his play in the LSU game, but the leading receiver for Florida State is Johnny Wilson. Now, in this past game against Boston College, Florida State fans come on my board and they've told me, hey, listen, you need to understand something. We were sick. There was a bug running through the team. Maybe so, maybe not. I don't know. But I do know that Travis Jordan got slammed. Or Jordan Travis. I got that flipped around. Forgive me for that. Jordan Travis got knocked around and he did get injured, but Mike Norvell said, hey, he's fine. He's fine. A little banged up, but he's fine. I expect them to take early shots at Clemson and then try to get Clemson to bite on the pass, only to turn around and run the ball. We will see how that goes. Now, what could Clemson do to counter this? What could Clemson do to possibly become dominant and set the tone for the game? Pin their ears back. Tell the secondary, hey, you're going to be on a nice little island out here. It's time to man up. All of you are either graduate, senior, or a junior. The starting four, you have to earn your keep this game. But we're going to come after Jordan Travis, and we're going to try to knock his head off his shoulders. We're going to figure out how banged up is he. We're not going to let them just settle in and toss the ball up so Keon Coleman can make SportsCenter highlights. We're going to come after him. But folks, I don't know if they can do it. I believe we have the talent to do it. I just don't know if let me rephrase that, we'll do it. Florida State wants this more. Florida State is focused on winning. Florida State is focused on trying to get over the hump. And in the ACC, Clemson has been the hump for Florida State. I can't believe that I've lived so long that I can actually say that, because I remember the idea of beating Florida State was out of the question for Clemson. In fact, I was at the 2003 game where Clemson finally beat Florida State for the very first time since Florida State joined the ACC. I was there. I sat in what is now the West End Zone. It was a great night. It was wonderful. It bought Tommy Bowden probably 6 or 7 more years, however long he was there afterwards. I think it was more like 5, but it felt like much longer. No offense to Mr. Bowden. Florida State has goals, and it runs through Clemson, South Carolina. Clemson, not the players, but I believe especially on the offensive side of the ball, does not have the coaching and the coaching development. I do not include Garrett Riley on that. Garrett Riley is totally innocent on this. But if you break down each level of offense that Clemson has, and you look at the coach who is coaching them, very few of them has significant big-time college football experience. I know Dabo wants to give someone a chance. Terry Don gave him a chance. I get it. But it's just like Hunter Renfrow and Stetson Bennett. You can't give every walk-on a chance and believe that they're going to be the next Hunter Renfrow or Stetson Bennett. Why? The reason everybody knows who they are and they kind of go, wow, how did you do what you did? It's because they were walk-ons, and most walk-ons, even if they're talented and earn a scholarship, never achieve those high levels. My point, you're going to have to be more selective with who you give a chance, because this football team is suffering. Player development is suffering. There's a reason why wide receivers coming out of high school can catch the ball better in their first year, and in their second year, they're not catching the ball as well. We should all be thinking about, why is that? We should ask that question. With that said, I'm going to get to the point. I hate to say this. I hope I eat crow. I hope you show up Saturday and tell me that I was wrong, and I hope I'm wrong. Florida State wins this game 24-14 because they're ready, they're hungry, and they want it. And Clemson, not the players, But the coaching staff, especially on the offensive side of the ball, I think they're ill prepared. And that's not on Garrett Riley. He's only been here for 8 months. But I just believe they're just ill prepared. There's too many loose ends. Clemson loses this game to Florida State 24-14. Folks, please subscribe. It's an easy way to support the channel, and it's free. If you want to support the channel on a monthly basis, I have a $3 and a $5 tier. There's no difference between them. It's just, hey, you believe in the channel $3 worth or $5 worth per month. I do appreciate it. Also, a shout out to the sponsor, 4Putt Carts. They are a beverage cart service for golf courses as well as special events. So even if you do have beverage service at your golf course, maybe you have a tournament coming up, you're going to be overwhelmed, call 4puttcarts.com. Reach out to me and I'll pass along their information, your information to them. Thank you so much. I hope I'm wrong. I just see Florida State winning this because they're prepared and they want it more. There's more at stake for them than for Clemson. Clemson's backpedaling. Florida State's moving forward. Hopefully I'm wrong. Even with that, I love my Tigers. I'm pulling for them. Go Tigers.